Hey, does your RV have an escape hatch like this one? Ooh, feel that. Now wouldn't it be cool to allow some more breeze in and actually use it as an actual window? Well, of course you're going to want to keep the bugs out as well. Well, let me show you this small mod that we've made in our RV that's had a huge impact on our ability to keep the RV cooler, especially when it starts warming up out there. Let's check it out. Now for many years we just kept this window closed. We used to have a valance here and blinds, and we always had this window covered up with something because it's an emergency exit. But as soon as you open it, you can just feel that rush of air coming in, and we really thought that would be a good thing to have and actually use this as a window. So one of the first things I did was to get a piece of acrylic and actually cut out a piece of acrylic to fit over the actual window itself, because with the sun beating in on this, or when it's really cold out, it just needed that extra layer of insulation. So it's kind of like a storm window. And the next thing I did was to actually mount some window tinting on that piece of acrylic. And I went with something that had a mirrored look on the outside, so you can't see in, and it blocks a lot of the sun, but we could still see outside. To mount that piece of acrylic with the window tinting on here, I just used a few strategically placed screws around the window here, and I just screwed into the frame of that window. I didn't want it to be airtight because, especially in the wintertime, a little bit of condensation might build up in there, and I didn't want to have to worry about that happening. So there's a few gaps here, and it's been totally fine just to keep a little bit of airflow in there, but it stays on nice and solid. Now, since this is an emergency exit for the RV, we still needed to be able to open it quickly in case of an emergency, but in order for it to be really functional when it's not an emergency, I wanted to be able to open it to, as wide as we wanted and be able to lock it in place. To be able to do that, I installed these two adjustable arms on each side. These are supports that I got from a marine supply store, and what they are is they're actually stainless steel supports, adjustable supports for a hatch on a boat. Now you might notice that the support piece here is actually inside the frame just a little bit, like by about an inch or so, and that's because it needed to mount to the actual window panel itself and then be able to mount to the frame. So because it stuck out a little bit and it also screwed in this direction, I needed to build some sort of L bracket that the L bracket would actually mount to the frame here, and then the support piece would actually bolt in to the L bracket. So I just made a piece out of aluminum, painted it black, drilled a couple holes, and it works pretty good. They are totally adjustable, so depending upon how wide we want this window open, if we just want it cracked, we just open it and lock it in place there. But if we want it to be open wide, we can open it way out here, for example, and it just lets so much more airflow in, with it open wide like that, especially now with there's a little bit of a breeze blowing in this direction. Oh, you can just feel that wind coming in. And when we first tested this out, it really worked well, but the thing that didn't work so well is that it didn't keep any of the little critters out that were flying around outside. We wanted to have that airflow, but keep the bugs out. So the solution was to find some sort of screen, and I just went online and I picked up a pretty inexpensive magnetic and Velcro screen door thing, and it was cheap. I can't remember, it was probably 20 bucks or less, and it came with everything that I needed, including Velcro and all the magnet pieces, but it was a full length size to fit the full length of a door. But I was able to find one that was the exact width of my window. So what I did is I took the Velcro that came with it, put it all around the outside of the window frame here, and you know, there's Velcro over here. You could just quickly put this up, put it on the window, and you're pretty much done. It's because the opening here is magnetic, so there's magnets inside the seams of the opening here, so it's easy to get in and out, reach in and out and do stuff, and then you just let it close and it keeps all the bugs out. Now, because it was a full length size, I had to cut it down. So what I did is I just cut it and I folded the bottom and just to length, just a little bit below the window here, and I ended up just using black Gorilla Tape on either side to secure it, and it looks really nice. In fact, when my wife saw it, she didn't realize that I cut it down. She thought it came this length, and I told her, "Oh, it's just Gorilla Tape on there." She's like, "Oh, it looks good." Didn't even notice. On a normal day, we pretty much just open this all the way, and it just lets all that airflow in, and it just works wonderfully. It's been a huge improvement, especially when it you know, the rig tends to heat up, you know, because there's nowhere for the breeze or the wind to flow, and this has really worked out well. I'll leave links to all the stuff that I use for this if you wanted to do something like this on your RV, you know, if it has an escape hatch like this. So hope it gave you some ideas, and give it a try. I'll see you in the next one.